This is Friday, day one of Aquino at the Ontario Regiment Museum in Oshawa, Canada. And we're going to take some look around at some of the Desert Storm vehicles. These are the FV100 series, or what's called the CVRT. And so we're going to be taking a look at some of the CVRTs this morning. Some of the crews that actually manned these very tanks. And these crews went into combat in these, or in tanks either like this or these tanks. So join us as we take a look behind the scenes this morning.
You're off the grid. Wow. You don't know whether any road bars anywhere, do you?
Screwdriver or something there. Clean off to see what I'm doing.
Wait, don't you need a spanner?
This is the adjustable.
The adjustable spanner.
Give that piece of strip bar. No, silver bar. Strip piece.
All right. All right.
Stone wedged in it.
What is it in the wrap?
So, which number is this? The 10.
Got it.
Right, what number?
This is the 105?
What?
Yeah, what's the FV10?
Oh, this is the Striker.
The Striker?
Yeah, Striker.
But you don't know the number.
Yeah, well, they're all the same.
I thought they were 101, 102, 103, 104, 105.
I don't know, I never heard that.
Except the Sabre. The Sabre is an oddball.
Never heard that before, to be honest.
Oh, really? So 101 is the Scorpion.
Yeah, so they're all CVRT, obviously.
They're all CVRT, right?
And then you've got Striker, Scorpion. I don't know what the one or versions are. We never used that.
Let's see. Dang it.
Scorpion, Scimitar.
Scimitar, of course. A Scimitar is a 102.
Samson, Samariton.
The Samariton.
Samariton, I thought we got one actually.
And then there's the, what's the other one? S1. Not Scorpion, but there's Scimitar.
Scimitar, Scorpion, the same, just different.
Right gun.
Yeah, different guns.
Yeah, so that you can see that one has the, is it 30?
Yeah, 30mm Radin cannon on it.
Yeah. And the 30 millimeters also on the Sabre, which was not in Desert Storm.
No.
So these, yeah, and these vehicles actually served, and
Yes,
these crews
all
actually
these,
served.
Yeah, I was on this one. This is my vehicle, and we call it Op Granby.
The Op Granby.
Op Granby, we call it.
And your name's on the tank.
Yes, it's on the side. Yeah.
So because last year I actually featured these things. These are some of my favorite tanks.
Oh, really? Oh, come on, look. We do. I think we do one.
It's on the other side.
The other side.
And I mean, I absolutely love the fact the crew signed the tank.
I don't know what's this controller that should be. I don't see it now. Commander, Sean Bannister, and that's me. And out in that Galphic paint, I painted a bit of dragon and that on it, but there was just represents what we did out there. But all the markings, all the bins, you know, because obviously they don't come with these.
Right.
We just put all things in. So these are like H83 containers, you know. That's that was some oldie tin, I think. And these things are off the old chieftains.
Okay.
So we used to cut them up, weld the ends. So this is the cut end.
Right.
We used to get them welded up. So they come in different lengths. And the one on the front. And
did you do this? I mean, they went into combat with these extra bins on them.
Exactly like this.
Okay.
Yeah. So all this,
brilliant.
This is pretty authentic. How it was out there. Apart from we didn't have mirrors on it, obviously.
Right.
Took all that stuff.
These lights were not there, I'm guessing.
Yeah, these were still there, but obviously we didn't use them.
Okay.
So,
and did you use the horn to tell the enemy you were coming?
No. No way. I think if we use the horn, I think they'd come running with their hands up. There's so many give up out there. It's ridiculous.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Thank God.
And they got fed.
And then it was the Americans who actually shot at y'all.
This was, sorry?
The Americans,
oh, yes,
the Yanks.
Yes, they did.
Yanks don't know the difference. Hey, wait, are we still at war with the Brits?
Yeah, exactly. Hence the chevrons on the side.
Right.
Yeah, so we had big chevrons.
Hey guys,
On there.
hey, this means don't shoot at us. We're an
that's
ally.
right. Yep. And then on the top,
Oh,
hang
I
on
think-
2 seconds. All right, mate. And on the top there, then we had with the binners, we had a big orange sheet, so they could see us from the sky.
Oh,
So they
okay.
wouldn't shoot us.
And that didn't help, did it?
No, they still
Because
don't.
National Guardmen aren't trained the same as like regular Army.
That's correct.
So start her up.
Whoops, something fell.
We're going to jiggle it a bit, right?
Jiggle. Is that a British word?
Just watch where you... John, don't come any farther this way.
Oh, no.
There could be a grease shooting out.
All right. So they got something stuck in the track, so they're trying to clear it.
Solid. Dominic,
He needs a spotter.
it's 10 leaves on it.
He can't see anybody.
Elvin. Ain't gonna happen.
Uh-oh.
Unless I've got a spare ram. If Ken Lee's got a spare ram in the sea can, then we can turn around and risk taking it off.
Yeah. Change it off, we can get it back on.
Get it back on, don't get me wrong. Back. Yeah, that's not true.
All right, so we're going to take a look at some of the others. And I'm not quite sure why I have a poor connection. I should have really good 5G here. All right, so let's take a look at some of the others. So these vehicles, the soldiers who served on these vehicles bought them and donated, well, they donated them to the museum. They're stored here at the museum. So this is, I believe, the FV102 Scimitar, and that is the 30 cal gun. So when you see these guys in desert camo, they actually served on these vehicles. And if you don't know, there was an incident where the Yanks, National Guardmen, who don't know the difference between that we're not at war with the Brits anymore, that National Guardsmen shot at these, well, not these tanks, because they shot at tanks that got damaged. Yeah. I actually watched that.
Stuff that died blue on blue.
Yeah. What we call blue on blue. Friendly fire,
Yeah,
blue on
We've
blue.
got one in our regiment and it's got a rounded one in here. And it went through. Luckily it's not got killed. But then I know the Staffords lost about 9 men in a warrior, I think, and I think it was an A10, I think.
Yeah. And they had the orange thing
Yeah,
on the back.
yeah, one of those. But,
They weren't regular. Hey! They weren't regular army, they were National Guard. Here, let me give you a hug.
This Tate's.
What's that?
Tate's.
Tate? Tate, T-A-T-E?
T-A-T-E-S. You can go with
Tate.
Michael.
Okay. So, well, I mean, we're all spread around now.
Yeah.
But I was doing, yeah, I'm just live streaming and showing these guys. These are some of my favorite tanks. These are some of these for what I would look to buy. There's 2 tanks I'm looking to buy. One would be an AMX 13.
Yeah.
And the other one is, this is an FV101 with the 76 millimeter. They're rare, but they have them with 90 millimeter. And so, and Jeremy, who owns some of these. So these guys, after the war, actually bought their tanks. These belong to guys who served on them, and then they donated them to museum. And this is, since COVID, the first year they've been able to come over here and participate to actually drive these. So last year they were just static display. This year they'll be actually showing off and doing a Desert Storm kind of reenactment. So driving them around and showing them off. So these are CVRTs.
Actually, we were just talking about that. Like, we were wondering if, like, how they got from Desert Storm to England to here.
Yeah. So they're actually stored. So you see the container over there?
Yeah.
They pack 2 of these per container.
Easy shipping.
So easy shipping. Actually, and so the British government is, well, before the war in Ukraine, they were dumping these. So I'm actually registered with the British government to buy them. So there's a dealer who sells them for the British government. And since America allows it, they're not going to be demilitarized before they're shipped.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was quoting me at the time they were about $25,000 to $35,000 each, and then it's going to cost about $6,000 to ship them. Now, what's happened since is prices have gone up,
Yeah.
and then with the war in Ukraine, they were selling them to the Latvia army. They're now the British government is selling them to or giving them to Ukraine. And as a result, they're also going and grabbing up the ones they can from collectors, getting them back. Whatever they, collectors don't want, they're going to get them back and use them for parts or repair them and create. And so they're actually, collectors are trying to hold on to them and buy them up before they kind of disappear. Very fast, very agile. And then referring to the blue on blue incident, there was actually a battle where these National Guardmen had been, and Abrams had been deployed over there. And they had only been over there for 2 weeks, and they got a call that there was a British outfit paralleling them. And so the British outfit had actually turned and had captured a bunch of Iraqi, I think 54 Iraqis. So they had parked these in a circle and had the Iraqis in the middle. And the National Guardsmen decided to turn left and close in. And when they saw them, they saw the Iraqis, and they thought it was an Iraqi camp. They didn't recognize the tanks. They didn't look at the Vs. And so they actually started firing on them. And they fired for a while and killed all the Iraqis. Every Iraqi got killed in the engagement. Fortunately, none of the Brits got killed. I think 3 wounded. And then they actually called in a TOW missile to take these guys out, which would have killed everybody. And the TOW missile operator with his optics had actually better optics. And he saw the V and goes, guys, these are allies.
Yeah.
And they lit at that time. In fact, when I watched live, I watched, they were downloading the satellite video and commenting on it. And at that time, they thought they had killed most of the Brits in the camp because they saw all the dead bodies. And so later, it turns out there's only 3 wounded. So, kind of sad. Some of these vehicles are in vehicles that were repaired. Most of them were replaced. All of them eventually made their way back to the UK and were repaired. And he was saying that one of these, they had a shell go through, came out the other side. So I know that at the time they had one with a bad engine, one with a bad drivetrain, and one with something else bad. So they took one tank and scavenged it for the rest and got the rest of them out of there.
Yeah.
And then they put charges on the tank in case the Iraqis came along. And they document that. So the military has documentation of how it's rigged as a booby trap. So later when they showed up to recover the vehicle, they were able to de-arm the booby trap. And he didn't know, he said he didn't know for 17 years that one had actually gone back to UK and been recovered. And he eventually, looking to buy these, he actually found the one that had been destroyed and parted out. So just incredible story.
Hi.
Good to see you. Trey Lord, what's up? Welcome.
Hey, Mr. Stranger Danger.
Trip was okay?
What's that?
Trip was okay?
It was long. It was long haul.
I do that.
Yeah. We all did. You missed your connection.
Yep. Almost
Oh.
missed the second one.
All right.
Oh wait, no, nothing's been moved, right? No, we have. That's what I'm saying. I was worried about the official sponsor.
What's that?
I was worried about it.
No. I think it's going to be good all weekend.
I get to meet Creepy Viewers Day is what Mr. Stranger Danger's saying. So
Yeah.
So Mr. Stranger Danger's saying you're creepy.
I'm creepy. Okay.
Who's among us is not?
All of us are in a little.
Exactly.
I am cringe, but I am free.
We're all creepy here. If you weren't creepy, you would not be here.
Oh, yeah, I'll watch out for that. I'm not going to repeat that, though, Mr. Stranger Danger.
Fair enough. Hope everyone's enjoying your stream and enjoying the event today.
I'll lurk for now. Okay. He's lurking for... Mr. Stranger Danger's lurking.
Imagine a lurker.
Whose name's Mr. Stranger?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Right, come on you guys, don't just stand around there. Get in the, come on. Don't just stand around it. No, this way. Don't just stand around admiring the view. I need you to get into my tank.
All right.
Come on, get in there.
All right. So this is the FV104.
I'll explain.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Ooh.
Jumping in. Come, madam, after you.
Oh, let me get over
Just
here.
mind your knee on the on this bit here. Welcome to my world, ladies and gentlemen. Right, do we know what this vehicle is?
She does.
So this is like you have your command center,
Yep.
and you have your communications all
That's
in
right.
one.
So basically, this.
You don't have your antenna.
No, they're all on the outside. They're all on the outside.
This is what I did in the
That's
S3
better.
shop.
They're all automatically hardwired in.
Is it the 104?
So basically, CVRT, Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Tract, was an Anglo-Belgian collaboration. Urban myth has it that actually the width of these vehicles was designed so that they could go down a Malayan rice paddy, and actually they exert less ground pressure than I do standing on the ground at the moment. And they named them after biblical and sort of Middle Eastern names. So this is an Armoured Command Vehicle Sultan. Next door is the Samson, the recovery vehicle. Scorpion is a 76mm. Scimitar 30mm. Sparton, the armoured personnel carrier, and Striker is the anti-tank guided weapons platform. Now don't let them tell you that their vehicles were more important than this one. It was clearly there pulling the wool. It wasn't. As you rightly said, this is the command vehicle. So crew of 5. Driver sits in the front there, and basically the seat's in the upright position at the moment, so that seat would be dropped. And when we were in the Gulf, 40-45 degrees, sat next door to the engine with just a little bit of thermal cladding. And what I used to do, I used to be the commander, I would sit on that vehicle, that seat there, or if the turret was open, I'd be on my knees so that no more than my shoulders were out of the turret. And I used to periodically have to pour water over the driver just to keep him cool. Radio operator sat in the front there. Now he wasn't quite as broad as you, sir. I'm not being insulting, but he was definitely as big. So he was 6'2", scrunched in there as the radio operator. And when we were in action during the 100 hours, he stayed in that position for at least 24 hours and did everything in that position. Radios next to him. HF radios for long distance communication, VHF for your sort of tactical nets. And then we also had a mobile phone telephone system on this called Ptarmigan SCRA, had a big chunky block down here, and basically the Royal Signals used to go out and set up their nodes, and then you just buzz in, a bit like a mobile phone. The squadron leader and the battle captain was sat there, and then basically they controlled the battle. A Squadron QDG, a bit like 16th, were reconnaissance. So we were at least 15-20 kilometres ahead of all the other battle groups, finding out where everything was, and also bringing down air and artillery down onto positions that we found. And I suppose whilst we were looking forward, my war story is I lost a tooth. Basically we got bumped by a T-59 with a shed load of Iraqi infantry on board. Bomb bursted. This had a pintle mounted machine gun on it, and basically what the commander had done is he'd replaced the wooden butt with a recoil buffer, which is how you configure machine guns when they go into tanks. You don't need the wooden butt when they're inside the tanks, they have a recoil buffer on it. And he'd put a recoil buffer on it. It's only about that big. So I had the recoil buffer in my cheek as I was hosing this tank down, and I lost a tooth. So that's my war wound, is a lost tooth. All very self-contained, NBC proofed.
So the NBC pack's on the side here, oh sorry, on the side there behind you. And then what we did before we deployed, we all made sure that every single seal on the vehicle and the sight seals all worked, fired up the system, and it works on overpressure. So the pressure builds up inside, it also filtrates the air so nothing's going to get in. And then basically you have a tube here that you would connect to your respirator if you're operating inside the vehicle, and that was quite good because it forces air onto your face as opposed to you breathing your beery fumes all day. Most important bit of kit on the vehicle? That. Anybody care to hazard a guess what it is?
I'll be last though. I know what it is. I know what the most important piece of equipment on any British tank.
It's the kettle. And we had two. We had a kettle there and there's one behind you. Clearly you've got tons of water inside. But what we also do, so you could chuck your cans in there as well and you're boiling the bags and stuff like that. But we also got one of these tables and configured it up to an electric grill with a little grill over it, and we could have tea and toast.
Is that this
tea
over
and
here?
toast and Marmite. That was then for centralised cooking. My driver was a guy called Tucker Taylor, so that was known affectionately as Tucker's Field Kitchen. So those when we were bumped by that T-59, when we were running away initially very bravely, the back door was open, so the battle captain was hanging onto the door, the squadron leader was hanging onto the battle captain, and the door was sort of swinging open and shut as I was going left stick, trying to avoid anything that was coming up behind. And as it slammed, Tucker's Field Kitchen fell off. But clearly after the engagement, that was the first thing that we went back and got after we dealt with that particular tank. But we lived on this for 6 months. Like I say, you get very, what's the word I'm looking for? You get to know people very, very well in an environment like this. And then during the actual 100 hours campaign, clearly we weren't in it all the time. We periodically stopped. The longest we were in here for was something like 18-20 hours, because we were chasing down everything. Here's some pictures, basically of when we were training with the US Marines, under slinging the CBRT just to see if they could carry them forward. US Marines, really good bunch of blokes, Force Recon guys. Some of the pictures that we took on some of the oil well fires. This is a particularly interesting picture. That is a British Royal Engineer vehicle, and basically it was petrol, and it's one of these big engineer vehicles that got a big sort of mortar on the front of it that can blow down walls and stuff like that. And some punter was filling it up with petrol jerry cans, while somebody was at the bottom of the track cooking his dinner, and he overfilled it and it went down and it caught fire. I mean, say, very spectacular explosion. Luckily nobody was injured. Everybody, in some of the pictures you can see people running away bravely just before it had exploded.
No, they were doing a strategic retreat.
A strategic retreat, tactical withdrawal.
They were advancing in a reverse direction.
Yeah, tactical withdrawal. But yeah, so that's us, A Squadron QDG. We were attached to 7 Armoured Brigade initially, and then we were attached to 16 5th Lancers who came in when 1 Div came over. But then for the final push to the Basra Highway, we were the first unit from 1BR Corps into Q8, and the first unit onto the Basra Highway after it had been absolutely blitzed. And I suppose that will be my undying memory of the war, was seeing the Basra Highway. I've never seen anything like it before.
The highway of death.
Highway of death. 6 lanes, all going north, everything for 10 miles, just chock-a-block, bodies all over the place. It was an unbelievable sight, really was. But I think we're really fortunate that Alan Duffy, who's the museum CEO, he's got a real bee in his bonnet about the Gulf War, because he sees it as one of the only wars this century that was really good against bad. There was a legitimate reason to go in there and do something to oust. And he got a bee in his bonnet, and he started finding all these CVRT and then finding all the crews for them. And so we're all very grateful for Alan for providing this reunion opportunity where we'd all meet up, swing the lead, hit the storm lantern, and tell you all our war stories. It's great.
It's really, really special at an event as well, because you have that aspect of not just the vehicles, because you know, at big events it's largely volunteers.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, some of them have served, but a lot of them are also just civilians that
Absolutely.
get into it. But having somebody who's done it themselves, you can study about these all you want. You can study all day, but unless you've done it, unless you've lived with it, there's something that you're going to be missing with regards to knowledge.
Right.
And so even just the repetition of the training that you guys are doing, regardless of any use out in the field, but it's very, very, very valuable. It's a unique and very special. It's very meaningful, but it's also very valuable if you're looking to learn, because there's stuff that you know that doesn't matter. You can read every book about the Sultan. You can read every book.
Well, it puts it into context, doesn't it?
Right.
But there's things that you know operationally that you'll never find in a book.
No.
You know, things like this. But it's the small things. But it's also the human element. Having that at an event like this is really valuable. It's really cool. Like I have a lot to video, but I could do an entire day with you guys, you know, and everybody's experience on everything, because it's really special. It's really cool.
We've all got our war stories, and we'd love to tell them.
Something special I learned about these is the small detail that I wouldn't. I guess you're thinking what other things? Pencil.
Yeah.
You know, it seems small, but that's handy right there. You know.
I'm saying this isn't exactly how my Sultan was configured. What we actually did is we took all of this out and basically had a bigger map board behind it where you could slide it out, which was great until we had our final exercise before when we went across the berm. So this is the dress rehearsal, and the squadron leader had marked up all the exercise on the boundaries, taking it out, put it on the side to give his O group, and then he gave the O group, and he came to put it back in. Oh well, I then put it back in, and I didn't take it out, by the way, I exited it. And what had happened is the board had slipped to the right, only by about that much, but it was about 500 meters. So he'd done his trace, and what had happened was when I put it back in, I put it back in and clipped it into place. But what I'd done is I'd moved the map talc half an inch to the left. So we were doing the exercise, and everybody's in the wrong place. They're all 500 meters out from the boundaries, and the squadron leader's going absolutely bananas with everybody. You know, you're all in the wrong place. Until the forward air controller, God bless him, said, "Oh, you need to have a word with the bloke on your right." Well, at that particular time, I was the bloke on his right. And I was going, it's not me, it was the blinking battle captain that whipped all out and taken the talc. But luckily, as I say, you're going to go do something wrong, do it wrong in the dress rehearsal as opposed to the real thing.
Yep.
Enough's going to go wrong in the real battle.
Oh, absolutely. But I suppose the only thing that I'm jealous, because clearly these vehicles were used on Optelic during the actual invasion of Iran. What they'd done is they got rid of the NBC pack and put in an air conditioning unit.
Nice.
So it was a plus, because the NBC threat was negligible.
Right.
But I suppose that's the only jealous thing, that we had an NBC pack and they had an air conditioning unit.
Scorpion guy to give us some content
Oh, nice.
about the Scorpion. He's going to move this, and then I'm going to talk about it. In case you're interested.
All right. Yep. So this is the guy who was working on the other tank's track, is the guy who's going to help me track down a couple of these.
Awesome. Oh, so you were going to... Okay, well, yeah.
So he thinks it might be easier to get a couple that are, he knows a guy has two that has not restored them, and that I could get them really cheap, and then bring them over here to the museum, let the museum restore them. And
Nice.
I'd rather find something that's not you know, that they don't have to waste, you know, schedule and waste their time to do.
Right.
But so Sultan. Okay, so we got a Striker, the Sultan, the Striker, but this is the FV104, and this is the FV105.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and you got one of the missiles.
Yeah, swing fire. Now this was a wire guided missile, and the only reason they kept this missile was because it had a 3.14 kilogram warhead on it, which could take out T-72 from the front. But it was a wire guided missile.
All right. So do you know the numbers? FV101.
Absolutely, actually.
Okay,
I'll
some of
admit
these guys don't. Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't.
Okay.
I only know them by their
The name. Okay,
name.
Scorpion. These are the 76, but they do have a 90. Kind of rare.
Very rare.
Yeah. And then we have the Striker.
Yeah.
We have the Sultan.
Yeah, and the Sparton.
And the Spartan.
Yeah.
Now, there's this is the one with the high sides.
Yeah, high
Yeah.
sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a personnel carrier.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so that's another Sultan over there? No. That's another Striker, right.
That's Sean Bannister's Striker that was with me, so he was with me in the Gulf.
All right. And I was actually, I have a big satellite dish, and I was watching the military link. It's not unencrypted, so I was watching each day they would download all of the video for the news agencies to pick up. And so I was watching the downfeed and the narrative of the attack that the Blue on Blue that the National Guard did on your unit.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was your unit until like yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's like, I actually watched it. They literally, when they were doing the download and the brief, they said that they had killed many British soldiers. And that's what I knew until yesterday. That many of your guys got killed.
Yeah.
And that's because they saw all those bodies.
Yeah.
And it turns out those were all Iraqi.
Yeah.
So good job capturing a bunch of Iraqi.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And then Americans killing them all.
Yeah, I know.
You know, good job. Hey guys, we had it handled. We didn't need any of you yanks to come help. Well, thank you very much. These things are really fast. I mean, all of these things are really fast. So the Scimitar has a 30 millimeter on the front. Now, there's another tank. There's one over there that's in green. It is a FV101 hull with the turret replaced with a Fox turret. So if you start looking at this turret, when you see the other one, it'll clearly not be that turret. But this turret, yeah, it'll clearly be that hull, because if you look, the hulls are different. And then it won't be that turret, but it will be that gun. And it's like, okay, what it was, they had some of these and they pulled the turret off and they dropped turrets from Foxes on it, which this was a better hull, and it had the same range. So they just literally put the Fox turrets down on top of Scorpions and made a Saber. And so they actually have a Saber over there, which is, it's not a rare tank, but it's not one that's preserved.
Yeah.
So it's rare to find, I guess you could say.
Are these 3-man crews?
These are 3-man crews, yep. Driver, and you can see the driver hatch, and then commander gunner. Might be able to see if they'll let us get in. And there's the M60. I just found out the Sultan's the most important vehicle here.
No, come on.
Come on.
That's not what's important. That fires.
Which one is the most important?
T1.
The
That's the troop leader's wagon. That was the troop leader's wagon. You know, the 1420, this one here.
Okay, so this is the Scorpion.
Yeah.
FV101.
Yeah.
And it's the most
1420th,
important.
Yeah. And it was the troop leaders.
Oh, okay, because it has the flags.
Well, that's just for show now, you know.
Right, for show.
But in the Gulf, it was the troop leaders, so we had to go to all the old groups and all that, you know, at the night time. And, you know, for the missions, next day stuff.
And this has the 76, but there is a 90. You don't find the 90s easily.
No, no. And then we moved from these after the Gulf to Scimitars then.
And the Scimitar.
To Scimitar then.
Yep. And they have a Sabre over there.
Yeah. Diesel engine though, isn't it?
So
these are petrol engines.
These are petrol engines, okay.
And made of aluminium. So really, when we came into contact, we had to be fast to get away.
And they're very fast, agile.
Yeah.
I've seen the videos of the two guys who make them dance.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, this is
FV101.
101. Do you know the numbers or just because I said it?
You said it.
Okay.
It's a Scorpion.
It's a Scorpion?
It's a Scorpion.
Because I know it's like FV102, 103, 104.
You could have asked me when I did my driver met course, I could have told you that, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I only know because you go to CVRT and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's the differences, right? You got the names. Well, they have to have numbers.
Yeah.
Now, did these serve with you as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Squadron Sat Majors had them.
And are these ferrets?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a ferret.
I don't know what FV that is.
It's not an FV.
No, is it?
No. No, it's probably like a, you know,
you don't want it.
Well, and it's the 100 series. So the 100 series is all saved for this series. Because they have a 400 series. But the 100's obviously the best. The 101, you know, with the 90.
The 101, yeah. 90? I wish I could have seen the 90. I mean...
Very rare.
Yeah, very.
Jeremy said he's going to try to track one down for me. He knows some blokes over there. They have some that need to be restored.
That'd be amazing.
Did y'all have Jeeps? Are these Rovers?
Rovers, yeah. Okay. We didn't have them, but they had more Land Cruisers.
Whoa!
They had more Land Cruisers, you know. Like the Sat Majors and all that. So we were just stuck out in the middle of nowhere with them, so we never really saw much, you know. Are you World of Tank as well? Yeah. World of Tank.
I'm with World War Tank, so I'm a community control. We're both streamers.
Yeah.
So Dead Meat, because you know somebody.
That's your name. Yeah,
that's my name.
Yeah.
And this is Old Man the Wise. He's not feeling so wise here.
Old Man. Old Man the Wise. So, what tanks do you use then? What would you like to use?
What would I like to use? I'm actually looking for either an AMX-13 or FV101. Yeah. And that's why.
Speed?
Because I can drive it to work.
Yeah. On the roads, yeah.
On the roads.
Yeah.
And Jeremy said, "Oh, and we don't have to demilitarize it going to the States." Yeah. Exactly. Go find a range I can fire it at.
And you'll get 50 out of it on the road as well.
Yeah. They've gone up. When I was looking, they were about 25 to 33,000 US.
Really?
And then 6,000 to ship them.
What's that dollars then? What's that English?
18,000. They were 18,000 3 or 4 years ago. And now he said they're about 25,000.
Big difference, isn't it?
So, still, great vehicle. You know, I could sell you this one right here today. Make you a great deal on it.
You can have it.
Can we get some financing for you?
You got to invite me though. You got to invite me where you put it. You got to invite me.
Well, if I get a 90, it'd probably be here.
Yeah. why not show it off? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why not?
Yeah, it needs to be
Let other
someplace.
people see it. You know what I mean?
Well, the museum I support down in Texas is the Museum of the American GI, and it's all American vehicles.
Yeah.
You know, and if I said, hey, can we have vehicles that supported the Yanks? No, they're not American
Alright,
GI.
so it's just pure American.
Very American. They do have some German vehicles so that they can have skirmishes. But then when they do their event like this, they let people bring their personal tanks to it,
So they can join in, like,
and they can join in, do the reenactments. But one year we had something like 20 American tanks and 2 Germans.
So it was a bit unfair.
So they took some of the M4s and they put them out in the woods, firing onto the American position so that people imagine there's more Germans than there were.
It's a dear business, though, this, you know. It's a dear business. Dear. You know, for parts and all that. That's the only trouble, isn't it?
What's that?
For parts, you know, if you need parts.
Oh,
you know.
right. Well, I was going to buy 2.
Right, so you got one to strip.
Right. So 2 working, but later on, be 1 working.
Because there's a lot of people in England that do them up, isn't there? There's people that do them up
Right.
and then sell them as done up. You know what I mean? So it's worth looking into. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know the parts are available, but they're not cheap unless you just buy
that's
full
what I
parts.
mean, yeah. It's-
Like the engines, $1 million.
I mean, when I was in the army, the MOD's a big company, innit? So
Right.
we could get anything. You know what I mean? I went through quite a lot of engines,
Wow.
but they recondition them, don't
Right,
they? So you
yeah.
get a reconditioned engine every time, and then
And is a BMW engine?
no Jaguar,
Jaguar. Okay.
4.2 litre. I know that.
Okay. Has a Jaguar engine,
4.2 litre.
4.2 liter, turbocharged?
No.
No. And it's petrol.
Petrol.
And
Pirelli
then
wheels. Pirelli wheels.
what's that?
Pirelli wheels.
Pirelli.
Yeah.
Pirelli does the rubber
Yeah.
on steel.
Yeah.
I do know that if those need to be reconditioned, you can find forklift companies that redo the wheels.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
that's what the museum in Texas does.
Yeah.
Is they send them to a local forklift shop, so it's really cheap.
Yeah. It's a lot easier wagon to work on, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, like, I don't know if you was watching the track change over there, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's easier than a monster tank, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to get like a forklift to help pull it up.
Yeah.
Now later the 13, the T3485, they just put new tracks on it, and they were really, everything was compressed, they were
Yes.
stretched.
And then it happens like, yeah.
Yeah, they drove it one time, and now they decided they're going to come out here and run it around the track, and then go do the adjustment. So crazy. Well, thank you.
No,
Thank you for
you're
your
welcome.
service.
Dead meat.
Dead meat.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime.
I'll be back.
No, you're always welcome.
At some point, if I can get inside one and do a inside tour. Right now? All right, well, then.
What do you want to get in? The driver's hard to get in because you can stick your finger in, but the seat's stuck up. But you can get in the turret and that. if you want.
I can tell you that I have a problem getting in a tank with it as a 62-year-old man.
No, it's quite tight in there. That's what I meant. The seat won't go
Hey.
down.
I got in.
Yeah.
If I can get in,
then.
this fella can get in.
I got into the M3 Stewart bow gunner position, which is really cramped. But okay, all right. So, but I'm not going to take the pack in.
I can pass it to you if you want.
All right. All right. So I'm going to be recording, getting in, and then I'll probably hand this to you so that I can use 3 points. Appreciate it. All right. And we are streaming live.
So do you want me to?
Yeah, just grab it. All right. So how do I properly mount
Get
one
in.
of these?
Put your foot there. Put your hand on there. Just pull yourself up.
All right. That.
Yeah, just anything that's secure. There you go.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything that could move or break.
Yeah, turn yourself round. Then going backwards. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, arms by the sides. Lower yourself in.
If I'm gonna be driving one of these, I got to figure out how to get into it.
Yeah. There's a knack.
All right. All right. Now you just need to know what the starting procedure is. Got the tillers. Got my RPMs. My speedometer. 140 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Got my gas pedal. Got my clutch. No, it's automatic.
Gear. gears. Left gears on the left. Accelerator on the right.
Heel to change up, toe to change down.
Oh, wow.
If you look just to your left, you'll see a little N, which will tell you it's in neutral.
Okay, I've got
Yeah.
like a ball thing.
Got a
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I
little
see
N
the
on it.
measure.
That's in neutral.
Okay. And then that ball thing.
That ball thing is forward, reverse.
Ah. Okay, so middle is neutral.
Yep.
Forward, reverse, automatic transmission, clutch.
No clutch.
No clutch.
Semi-automatic, isn't it?
So the foot pedals.
Your right is your accelerator.
Right.
Your left is your gears changing up and down.
Okay.
Heel to change down, toe to change up.
Ah.
And if you, while you're stationary now, if you look at that little thing and you pass forward down, it'll change. It'll see it change from neutral to 1, 2, 3, 4,
What
5,
if I
6.
push it forward?
Yeah, with your toe.
Can I push it forward?
Yeah, yeah.
You're hearing clicking. You're hearing it clicking.
Okay. No, it's all the way in. Okay. I'm not getting it.
Click it. Click your heel down.
Put my heel down.
Heel.
Ah.
Hear it?
I got an E.
Yeah. Keep doing it.
2.
Yeah. Heel it.
3.
Keep going.
Yeah. And then
4.
it'll go to 6.
Oh, okay. 5.
7, even maybe.
6, 7.
7 gears. Forward and backwards.
Wow. Come on, baby. 5 it.
No, it should go more.
Oh, there we go. 6.
One more. It might count E as a 1.
E is 1.
Yeah, and then that's it. Then you got.
Okay, so I'm in 6, so then I pull
So-
the handle back. No, if I want a downshift, toe.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, E, neutral.
And that's
And
neutral.
it.
Now you can turn on a sixpence. Now you can turn on in neutral.
Neutral, I can neutral turn
Yeah, you can go all the way around and you'll be in the same
without
place.
doing the tillers.
If you was on, if,
You pull one tiller.
and it'll go. So your left tiller. If you pull
Okay.
your left tiller, you go left.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you was in neutral with lots of revs and you was on a hard standing, you could literally just go all the way around with enough revs.
And then pull the handle all the way back, and I got E. Oh, I'm still going to. I pulled the handle all the way to the back.
Yeah.
That would you and me and you going backwards.
Okay.
It will go
E
as
to-
fast backwards as it will forwards.
Wow. Okay, so it goes all the way up.
Yeah.
6, 7. Well, I got 7 going backwards.
Yeah. So you got 7 this time. It's
And trust me,
It's
I
an
have
old
gone, I have
wagon.
gone fast.
I've turned it over going backwards.
Okay, and how fast does it go? On good streets, good roads, hard road, hard
50
surface.
pounds
50,
an hour.
50, 60 mile an hour
60 mile an hour.
So 100 kilometers
on a road.
On a flat road, yeah.
In a field, I've done it.
in field. And then on these kind of not sand, but this kind of hard, semi-hard surface, 40.
Like maybe
you go
less.
a lot over the the desert sand. You go a lot slower. The reason being is because the Christie suspension won't take the bounce.
Ah,
Whereas if you go on tank, it's got that suspension and we'll ride it a lot smoother. And that's what we found in Desert Storm with the Challenger tanks. Even though we were supposed to be front,
He was always
they
behind.
was overtaking us because
He
we
was
couldn't
always
keep up.
behind. Better suspension.
It was, yeah.
all right, so that's the. This is the driver's position,
Yeah.
and it's fabulous getting in. It's actually pretty roomy. I don't know what you were talking about, but you maybe have a stone on
You
me.
try sleeping in it. You try sleeping in it. You try sleeping in it.
Oh, I guarantee I could sleep in this.
No, you won't. See that wall at the side of you?
Right.
Aluminium.
Red hot.
Next to the
Red hot.
engine, you ain't sleeping
Okay,
in
so
there.
it's cooking you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did
You're
in
not
winter.
moving, you're cooking.
I slept in it in winter.
definitely.
All right.
Winter's brilliant.
Is it the windshield wipers?
for the Episcope.
From the sight in the front.
All right. Telling you, it's 62. I'm guessing you're my age now.
Oh, I'm 60.
You're 60, okay.
I'm a young 52. I'm one of the younger ones. How old are
Alright.
you?
Now,
54.
this is British,
Right.
but the driver's on the left. What's the deal with that?
Good question.
We were just giving them.
I think you messed up.
Is Belgium, now is with Belgium? It was like something
I
or
don't-
some other country that it was.
I never thought about it, you know, to tell you the truth. Honestly, I've never thought about that.
All right. Gunner.
Commander.
Commander on there,
TC.
gunner on the
Got it.
right.
All right. And then traversing. Just don't step on anything that breaks off.
Nothing
The
should.
reason
I
why
don't
the
think
engine's
anything
on
should
the,
break
on the
off.
right hand side is because of the gearbox.
Right.
Because obviously you've got to line the engine up with the gearbox. So they couldn't have the engine over here because the prop shaft inside wouldn't have been lined up with your gearbox.
All right.
See? Got
Yeah,
it.
you sussed it
Got
out.
Billy?
Sussed it out.
All right. So tank commander.
Huzzah!
Now I honor valor. I don't steal valor. I didn't serve, but I honor those who do.
Yeah.
And I have actually given to Her Majesty's veterans when I was
Fair play,
over.
respect.
And they actually gave me a veteran's hat for my donation. I knew like they were like we weren't expecting like somebody
Okay,
give us,
Billy.
but
You alright?
wait, you're saying that the old guy was able to get in. Maybe I should get.
You get turret rash then.
I'm gonna be old man the agile.
You get turret rash then, Billy.
All right.
No, put my hand on that.
There.
Ah.
Moves that way.
All right. So now I'm
Get
in
the
tank
gun in.
commander's position. Laser, or
That's just a periscope.
Nope,
okay,
it's
just
periscope.
periscope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any magnification?
No.
It's just a Bob Basic
Yeah.
setup, really.
When your hatch is closed, so you can actually see.
Okay. And then you can kind of see behind. You can see
These are periscopes.
Yeah.
Again,
you can
so you've
see.
got all-round vision.
Good. And it's very low profile. There's no hatch sitting up. It's tucked down pretty
Yeah,
low.
yeah.
So because it's aluminum, something has to go through the sloped armor to get to you.
That ring on top, yeah, with the knurl bits, we used
Right.
to stick a sighting system on there, a night
Ah.
sighting system.
Was
on
it
there called
Otis? Otis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Observation thermal imaging sensor.
And is this the only one that has it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's lucky
I
to have
don't
it.
see it over there.
It's
No.
lucky to have it, actually.
All right, so this is the Otis, which is the observation.
Thermal imaging sensor head.
Don't forget this is going back when it was first coming out as well. That's why it's so medieval looking.
And trust me,
Oh no, this is great.
when the driver hits the bump, that sighting system does come off.
Oh, no matter how much you wrench it down,
Yeah, no, you have to modify it.
drill a couple holes for the screws to
Yeah,
go through.
we modified it while we was over there.
Yeah, it seems like you almost want some rubber mounts or something, though. All right, so down I go.
Go on, I'll go with you.
All right.
Do you want to take this with you so
I'll
you
take
can
it.
hold it? And you can look inside.
Thank you. All right. Oh, this is comfortable. I get used to this.
Yeah. So that's your sight, which
All
is
right.
your periscope.
Okay, so this is just periscope.
Yeah. And all these here.
We got
these are
reticle.
periscopes.
Reticle will come through, but there it is. Yep, I can see the reticle. Now I'm getting some guys are saying, "Oh, you're showing cool stuff."
Hmm.
All right, so
So that's your sight,
all right,
and I've got my sight here, which is the gunner's sight, and this is how you. This is the traverser. So this goes left and right with this
Okay.
handle
and
So
what's
you can-
not traversing? Where am I
Okay.
supposed to have my feet?
on the plate.
On
Do it.
up
No,
here.
no. Put your feet down. There's your plate there. So as I go
Okay.
round, yeah.
All
So
right.
you go left and right.
All right, so the bin box, there's the side, so that's the side of the tank, so that's what was hitting me.
Yeah.
And the ring, I can see the ring, so there's the ring. And
Yeah.
there's, so this is the bearing, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so we got our 76. Now this one's been modified for propane.
Yes. So this is the main armament here, which was the 76mm shell, and all these holes, that's where the shells would be.
And you got no simulated shells.
No, not for this. No.
Nobody ever really takes a look inside, so.
So all these holes are for the 76mm ammunition. As a commander, it's the commander that loads the gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. the gunner has got the handles for the traversing and the elevation of the gun with the firing trigger. That's the firing trigger there.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the gunner's sight.
Now it's this just the periscope.
Yeah, that's
So
that's
1X,
the that's
basically
got
1X.
yeah. So if you look through here, you've got lines like a
Right.
periscope.
And we can see that.
You should be able. Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see it.
So we've got the same thing. So the commander basically identifies the target, gives the information to the gunner. The gunner then logs on using his controls, and then when he's ready.
But the commander can't. He can say target left.
Yeah.
He can't really
No, he
pre-traverse.
doesn't do anything. The gunner has to do it all from here.
Okay. So the commander is looking through the periscopes.
Yeah.
Which, okay, so these just covered or are they removed? Oh, they're covered. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's looking around. He's got his head on a swivel, and he goes, gunner, traverse left,
Yeah.
90.
So I don't know what's outside of the
Right,
so I
right. We can't
but,
traverse.
yeah.
So we traverse left, and then while you're traversing, I'm telling you the kind of target it is.
And I'll be looking through my sights as well. So as soon as I identify it, I'll tell him I've got it.
Okay.
And he'll tell. Basically, we don't have laser rangefinders in these as they do in the tanks. So basically, he'll give me a range.
Right.
I will then put it on my sight, that range, fire, and then if it hits the target, great. If not, he'll say add 200, drop 200, add 100, etc., etc.
Right. So he's watching the reticle and where the shell went.
Yes.
And he's helping. Now, so gunner traverse right, 90, target T72, 400 yards, or 1,200 yards.
Yeah.
Let's give it 1,200 yards. And so you're going to get a pretty good idea which reticle to be looking at.
I will put the 1,200 yard marker on the screen, traverse to it, raise the elevation to it, and when it's on, then I'll fire. And then, like I say, if it hits the target, great. If not, we add or
Right.
Or,
would he say long, or would you know? You would.
I
yourself?
would know, but
Okay.
it's the commander's decision.
Okay. So he would say 200, drop 200.
Yeah, and then I'd drop 200 and fire again.
Okay. And meanwhile, he's loading.
Yes.
And then, do you have a light in your system tell you you're loaded, or is he telling you you're loaded?
It's all
Verbal. Okay. So
through headsets.
all right, and then just one one ammo type AP or
It's
AP.
we don't have armor piercing in these. It's like a HESH round, high explosive round, and we have illumination as well. You know,
Okay.
if we, at night,
Right.
we'll fire illumination.
All right. So high explosive.
If it's a HESH round, it's high explosive squad.
Flesh head. Okay.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember what the S was.
Okay.
All right. So you really just have HESH.
In these, yeah.
Okay.
And the illumination. We're not really cut out to engage.
Right.
Our responsibility is to locate the target quietly.
Right.
We then, if we have to engage, then that's what we have to do. But the idea of reconnaissance is to find the enemy, report back to the tanks. The tanks then come through,
Right.
do what they do.
So now the commander's job is to also use the radio and have a map to try to give a location.
Absolutely.
So if it's a compound, he might call in artillery support or indirect fire from a tank group.
He could well do, yeah. Anything like that. We would do our best not to engage because
Right.
we're in a very, very small.
Right.
You know, something
In the game world of tanks, I drive reconnaissance vehicles, and I like to find bushes and hide in bushes,
Yes.
and not fire if I possibly cannot
That's
fire.
correct, but there's no bushes or anything to hide behind.
In the desert. Now you're kind of desert painted, but you would try to find a berm or something to hide as much as you could.
Yeah.
And then the periscope is literally the highest thing on this tank is the periscope.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. There's no hatch higher. The gun is sitting probably 0.7 meter below the. Or do you ever think of that?
What, like 700 millimeters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you could see a target that the gun couldn't. Because you're behind a berm.
Yeah.
And so primarily you're calling in, and then you might see ground troops that you're going to then try to corral or.
Yeah. We've got you'd have the 7.62 millimeter.
Okay, so
here.
right here.
Again,
it's the coaxial.
The commander, yeah. So the commander will again.
Gunner coax.
Yeah, and that's to load it. That would be your to bring the what's it back.
And then I would have to find boxes of ammo.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Generally, you'd have them in this compartment here.
And so load a can of ammo up here.
It is very tight when you're under pressure to be inside here. You know, as a commander, he's got to think about all sorts of things, and he's got to load it and.
Right. So the gun's loaded, ready to go, and then if you see, hey, this is you see some guy sleeping on the ground or something, and they start firing back at you. Okay.
Yeah.
Gunner coax.
Yeah.
Fire at will.
Yep. Yeah.
And you ask which one of the blokes will.
Cool.
I don't want to hit Johnny. I just want to shoot at Will.
Absolutely.
All right, and then what's on your right there?
That's just the traversing.
Okay.
That tells you how far you've traversed.
So the small hand is the turret, or the whole thing?
It's the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
It's kind of like an hour and minute hand. So it's fine tuning.
That there, the big arrows going around. I mean, really, it's not really that much of a. It doesn't.
Right.
We don't need to use that when you're in a combat situation.
Right, and of course we don't know what's beside us, but when you're traversing 90, what in the turret is not moving with you? All
this will stay.
Okay, so you traverse 90. If I said 2 o'clock, then you would quickly judge based on the hull position.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm looking through my sight as well. So
right.
You know, but down here.
Right.
That's where we have our BV, which is a boiling vessel.
Okay.
Where we
most important piece of equipment on
so that
British
gives us
tank.
hot water. It gives us it's like a pressure cooker.
Right.
Which so if we have tins of beans and sausage and what have you, we'll put it in there, so it'll be cooking while we're on the go. And as soon as we get to a stage where we can stop and eat, then it just comes straight out of the boiling vessel, can opener, plates. We'll eat inside if needs be.
All right. And you could pass something to the driver.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely kind of challenging to pass to the driver.
Oh, cool. I mean, that's driver's seat is up now.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's up.
So
it would be down, and he can just drop the back.
He drops the back, and basically he has a periscope as well. So when he's lay flat with his hatch down, which he would be in battle, he can he's sort of lay not horizontal, but
right.
You know, so we can pass food through to him if he's been a good boy.
And the important thing would be the tea.
Yeah, and that's, you know, the boiling water obviously makes the tea and cooks the food at the same time. Pretty much a pressure cooker.
So anytime I go to a United Kingdom country, I have hot tea.
Okay.
I drink cold tea if I'm not.
Really?
But when Australia, New Zealand, England, Northern Ireland, I always have
cold tea.
Texans have. We have iced tea.
Right. Okay.
And but you know, when I go when I'm in a common, is it called a common? The countries, UK, I'm sorry, New Zealand, Australia.
Oh, the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth.
Yeah.
When I'm in a Commonwealth country, I always have hot tea.
Okay.
And sometimes I have a biscuit or a scone.
With jam and cream, obviously.
With jam and cream. Hey, you gotta, you know, we're gonna have to be a little bit more civilized if we're gonna be in one of the Commonwealth. All right, so we have our radio.
Yeah, we'd normally have two. We've got one here.
Okay.
We've got two there side by side. If I remember rightly, the 365 radios.
Oh, okay. So one of the radios is on this skid.
It's here.
Okay.
Obviously, they're very, very, very old, and I don't think these work anymore.
And is the radio just good for one frequency each?
No, all the frequencies.
I mean, at a time, you would set.
Yeah, we'd have one for the battle group, and one for our regiment.
Right.
So
whatever that frequency is.
Yeah.
Coordinated.
Yeah. So this one would be set for the battle group. That one will be set for the regiment.
All right, and then where's your headset mic or
The headset
on
with a microphone.
right?
And you've
Is
got
this the intercom?
Yeah, that's for the intercom more than anything.
Okay.
So we can all speak to each other. So the
What's up?
headsets would get plugged in to the bottom of them.
Here?
Yeah.
No. Okay. That's a cover?
That one there would be
here.
connected to the main radios.
That's a headset right there?
That would plug a headset in, yeah.
Okay. Because I also see these are those. Oh, those are switches. Is that grenade launchers? There's a couple of round black switches. I'm not going to push them.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to
Yeah, they're for the you've got smoke.
Smoke. Left smoke, right smoke.
Outside.
Okay.
Yeah. There's smoke canisters, and as you get outside, you'll see them. You've got 2 banks of 3 on either side of the turret.
I think it was 3.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then and so these are switches. These green things.
They'll all be for mainly internal for speaking to. You see, on the what's it there? You've got live IC.
Up here.
Yeah, the box you're looking at now, bottom right hand. Got
Okay.
live IC.
All right.
That's so everybody in the vehicle will be able to talk to each other permanently.
Okay, so I flip this down, and now we just got intercom.
Yeah.
Commander also hears
Absolutely.
the radios.
Yes.
But when he talks, he leaves it, or he flips
He'll
it.
have it'll be a curly whirly.
Okay.
And he'll have a pressel on it.
Okay. Right.
So when he's ready to talk, he'll talk.
So
to
when
us
he's talking,
he'll
he's
talk
talking
to us
intercom.
normally,
Right.
without pressing anything.
Right.
And when he's ready for talking on the radio to somebody else, he'll press his pressel.
Right.
And then he'll be able to say.
And that's called a pressel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a little box.
Right. Press the talk switch.
Little black box with a button in it.
And it's on a curly.
Yeah. So we can.
I do understand you.
Yeah. So we can get up and down.
I'm Texan, but I speak some of that UK lingo.
You have a curly whirly so that it'll reach. So if the gunner wanted to stand up, the curly whirly would come up with him. Same for the commander. The driver's got the same.
Okay. And then what else? Were you a commander in